Thank you all for coming today. And as you know, my name is Richard Castor, and I'm so proud to be talking with y'all. Today we celebrate that we are just 3 short months away from November. And I want to say welcome, but most of all, I want to say thank you. I know you've heard me say this before, but I really feel it's an important point. That we could host these events, and if you didn't show up, they wouldn't mean anything. What makes this worthwhile is you, the people of the Ozarks who show up here at our tea parties. Today, you are the ones who should be highlighted. Even when the press ridicules you, calls you racist, homophobes, birthers, and teabaggers, you still stand strong. You stand on a foundation of truth, of honesty, of integrity, and the American way. My friends, we come here today not as Democrats and not as Republicans, but as conservatives who believe in the future of this country. We come here as conservatives who love people. You see, when we conservatives look across the people of America, we see a landscape of opportunity. Liberals, on the other hand, see boxes. Everyone fits their own blocks. You're young, you're black, you're white, everyone has their own position. And if you go outside of the box, how dare you? But you see, we as conservatives, we break the mold. We are yellow, black, and white, young, old, and middle-aged, and we want you to have the freedom and liberty to do anything you want and to be anything you want to be, as long as you're willing to work hard enough for it. And as much as it may annoy the liberals, I hope my future kids become fat cat millionaires on Wall Street. And that's because I am a capitalist. Like you, I believe in the free market. I don't believe anyone or anything is too big to fail. Think about it. When did we come to this point in America where we tax success and bail out failure? It doesn't make sense. When did we decide that we should scrap the best medical system in the world and redesign it to look more like Europe's? When did we decide it was a good idea for the government to buy and take over car companies? For the president of these United States to be able to fire CEOs? When did we decide it was a good idea to spend trillions of dollars we don't have? We did not decide this. We, the American people, to whom a majority consider themselves to be conservatives, did not decide any of this. A small elite class of Ivy League educated people in Washington, D.C. did. And now all of a sudden, they're surprised when we raise up our hands and say, excuse me, something's wrong up there. We don't have any money. We like our healthcare system, and we still respect the Constitution. But my friends, sadly over the past few decades, we have failed to keep secure what Thomas Jefferson called the blessings of liberty. So the time has come to get involved. You see, this year, this November, one of 2 things will happen. 1, we will decide to give up on the American Revolution and concede that a small Ivy League class of educated liberals in Washington, D.C. can run our lives better than we can. Or you will get involved. If you get involved this year like never before, if you talk to your friends and neighbors, talk to your coworkers, if you take a stand for liberty, if we build on the millions of people who have already stood up, and if we hold high that burning torch of liberty, a wildfire of freedom will spread across this great country, and that same spark, that flame of liberty that filled the hearts of our founding fathers will be spread to a brand new generation of Americans, and that will start right here in Mountain Home, Arkansas. Liberty is far too precious of a thing to be left to the history books. It needs to be held up in front of man's faces and fought for. It needs to be taught to our kids and grandkids, and it needs to be cherished. And I understand when you're with your family or at work, you're scared to talk about what's happening in this great country. It's a dang hard thing to stand up and make your voice heard. And trust me, I understand this. I've had threats against my car. I've had people call for boycotts of my family business because of what we say and do. But let me ask you this. If there is nothing to be afraid of, how can we be brave? If there's nobody intimidating us, how can we rise to an occasion? My friends, now is the time to be brave. Now is the time to rise to this occasion. We have had enough of tax and spend politicians in Washington, D.C., and it's time we rise and say, America, we can do better. Let's change the mindset that government is the solution to everything, and let's look to our nation's greatest asset, the individual citizens, to solve our country's problems. Let's believe in the strength, not of Washington, D.C., but of individual states, our local communities, and one another to lead our country forward. We are the people who built the Empire State Building in 500 days. We are the people that landed on the moon in less than a decade. We are the people who freed a race from slavery. We are the people who have fought around this globe for freedom and liberty. My friends, for 225 years, we have had the courage to do the unthinkable. Let's not stop now. My fellow patriots, we can do better. And to the media, who thinks that we're a dying movement, let me end with this. You ain't seen nothing yet. Thank you all so much. God bless this sacred country. And now I want to introduce you